Welcome, Elaine.
Thank you. I've been looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, me too. It's
Mhm.
been a long journey, a short journey, but lots of stuff has happened.
Yes. I, I, it feels so long. I've forgotten.
It's only been a year.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
it. Mm.
so much has happened. So, why don't you share with us what was going on in your life um, that brought you here? What were you struggling with? What was working, what wasn't working? What had you have been doing beforehand? Um, just share a little bit about what was going on in your life that brought you to me in this work.
I was having trouble in my marriage. Um, and that trouble had been going on for a long time. And I remember just feeling at every anniversary being like, what's the point? And it was a terrible place to find myself. And I was stuck in it. So I kept a year after year and thinking I need to mark on the calendar how if each day was good or bad, because most of them were bad. Like I need to put this in context of what is happening here. Every day feels bad, and so I had a lot of conflict there. And I just never felt that I was living. I felt time was just like it went so fast for me that I never had time. So when you don't have time, and then I was trying to do so much. So I was running a health food store, doing all of the produce, working when people were sick, and it's our business, so it just needs that tender loving care. I also had 3 girls, and I homeschooled them and did all the cooking, cleaning, pretty much, raised them. Um, my husband actually lived separate in an RV, so he wasn't involved with them when they were little. Uh, so I just was trying to do all of this stuff and I had no time, and so everything was stressful, and a struggle, and just I didn't know how much suffering I was in.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. Yeah.
uh, I think about it now, like my backward self, and I just my heart feels really bad for her. She just she was I was really wanting to do the best, but I didn't have the tools or the know-how to do it. I had seeked out during the years. I'd always looked at different self-help books. I'd gotten into Louisa Hayes, and I loved a lot of what she said, but I realize now that was just state changes, and it, I used that a lot during my whole life, like, okay, I have to go do this or I have to see this person. So, what do I need to do to feel that I'm good enough to see them? Or, just this constant energy that I had to put into myself to feel that I was worthy of, or that I was good enough, or, oh, gee.
It's exhausting, huh?
Oh, it is. And
Mm.
then it's so, um, wasteful of precious energy that could be put into something, beautiful, fruitful, and it just, yeah. And it was never ending. It wasn't stopping, it was just more energy to, because I feel like as time went on, another thing that I didn't do is I didn't feel emotions. So I wasn't
Oh,
crying.
those things.
Yeah, I wasn't crying, I wasn't really laughing, I was just suppressing. And I believe in one of our first calls, you said, I'm seeing a lot of suppression and compression. So as I was going along in my journey, I was just getting heavier and,
Mhm.
it was going to take more energy to push me into this other state I needed to be in because I was just suppressing, compressing, and just getting really heavy, and that's where, you know, that suffering was just, it was almost suffocating in a way.
Yeah, that's that depression that we saw in the beginning. You
Yeah.
remember that?
Yes.
It was only a year ago, but it seems so long ago.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe how all the suppression and compression, it manifested into me feeling like I was on the bottom of the ocean, and that makes sense. I was becoming this hard rock and just sinking, and, no air, no life, just everything was compressed out of it.
Yeah. You're gonna
Well,
become about to be you were about to become a fossil.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of that video later on. Um, yeah, it was incredible to see how depressed you were and you barely even knew it.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
just was so involved in just continuing on, and I didn't value myself. So I had no, you know, didn't matter what I felt. Got to get this done. Didn't matter. And and I look at my mother, and she was the exact same way, and just so consumed with all of this emotions she never dealt with that she ended up dying from it, and, ugh, I was right there ready to follow right down her way. I'm so, so grateful I got
yeah, it's a miracle. Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting because folks watching this are going to be like, "She looks fine to me." Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Yeah, that's amazing. So
Oh,
that's a little bit about where you came from. Right? You couldn't feel. I remember you telling me after like the first session that was the first time you laughed with your husband in the kitchen in like however many years. It's the first time I think you said you cried in 2 years or something like this. And so there was this massive dissociation going on.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It took you a while to get through it, but you did.
Yes, so disconnected,
Yeah.
and I'm still, to this day, like, amazed at everything that's here to support me, and all the information that's everywhere, every step I take. And from the point a year ago, I was just so consumed with myself, and that I had no relationship with any of that. And it's such a shame because I mean I get glimpses and I I have days where I'm like, "Wow, life is so rich. There's so much here." And it's all right here. I don't have, it's like, wow. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So many of us spend so much of our life seeking, it's the spiritual path, the seeker's path. And one of the problems with that is that it's a life of seeking. You never find anything. Most of those people never find anything and settle and get what they were looking for. And so it's just a life of a carrot dangling on a stick in front of them. It's then on to the next best thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. Ooh, this shiny thing. Ooh, this guru. Oh, that, whatever. And even not spirituality, you see a parallel with consumerism, right? Oh, gotta buy the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Oh, well, those people, and it, what do they think of me? Our family, our parents, the neighbors, right? And so many of us think the answers are out there, even in this work, right? I have some things that I've learned that I share, right? I have some things, right, that I write, that I teach. There's some stuff in there. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to foster, because I can't give it to you, because it's not mine to give, to foster is the direct experience, the knowing that you have everything you need inside of you. It doesn't mean you don't get help. It doesn't mean that you live in a narcissistic, isolated place where you're the only one that can meet your needs. It's not what it is. But rather the experience of seeing that it's right here, right now. Like, this is it. And you're it. This is it. Now is it. And you're it. And one of the things that I love so much about Cinesomatics and this work is that when we do many of the movements and let's say the archetype work, the cinesomatic archetype work, I'm not handing over the perfect ideal image, an idea of what you should do. What I'm doing is helping you discover within your own psyche, within your own body,
Mm,
how to represent and listen to and learn from and embody a more functional archetype from within your own inner wisdom, within the wisdom of your body and within the wisdom that's plugged into, that innate intelligence, rather than the intellect trying to drum up a better strategy, a better escape route, better survival program. And so it always amazes me when I tell somebody to feel, say, find the feeling. And I give some suggestions, right? I give some constraints, say, well, do it the opposite way, or move in a new way, or do it backward, or what would it be like if you did this with or without this element? And through this exploration of your own body, it always, it always reveals something. And maybe it reveals something in a more functional direction, or maybe it reveals something about some dysfunction from your past. But it's always there teaching, it's always there revealing. And when we film that and have the video reflected back to you, you get to see that. You get to see it for yourself. And so, yes, there's facilitation. Yes, you're getting external feedback. But that feedback is a reflection of what came from you. So even from the feedback, it comes from you.
mhm.
So tell us about the experience of starting this, because we were chatting a little earlier. about how beneficial it probably was for you to come into this work not really having any idea what was going on, because this is very different. So, share with us a bit about starting this process, um, of the cinesomatics of the body, of feeling, being in your head. We might get to maybe some symbolism work later, the different slack lines, the different partner things, all of this stuff. So just that's a lot there. So let me get specific in that. Your first assessment when you were asked to shake your hands, your archetype assessment when you were asked to express these certain somatic archetypes from your body. What was that like, if you can remember?
Yes, for me, I just felt totally lost because I just hadn't felt in so long. I think I even almost wondered, can I feel? I mean, you ask a feeling, is it, you know, the thing that kept me in this work and that I just fully had resolve and belief in was your beautiful book. It just it just was so clear that this path could help me. I just I the doubt, there was no doubt. There was
Mm.
no it just is. And
So would it be safe to say you had a knowing? You just knew.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
The words, the everything in the book just spoke so well to me, and even though it was hard, I had no idea what I was doing. I I didn't know how to feel. It was very uncomfortable and, just kind of like but that book that spoke to me, and it was just, this is the way. And I I did have stories from my youth of my parents saying, "Well, once you get onto something, you don't stop." And so that was a story that maybe like
Yeah,
I'm
maybe a little helpful.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to just do this because
Yeah.
that book, I know it's there, and it was a knowing. Yeah.
Yeah. So that knowing, that trust, that faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I and especially because it was just so foreign to me to feel, to even to really be on a Zoom call. I think I had been on some, but, it was so gosh, it was, and then even being able to put, like, okay, I shake my hands and then, but back to the book, I know that this is something, and
All right. And then so you started shaking your hands and you started doing some movement and you got some feedback and you started seeing yourself on video. How was that? How was it seeing yourself for the first time? We'll bring this up in a minute because I think it's relevant. But
yeah.
how was it seeing yourself in all of the suffering in your body the first time?
I believe even at that time, it wasn't, as accessible to
Mm.
me as it is now for sure, but I don't think I had a lot of insight into it, yet when I first started. Um,
So it took you some time.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
took
took you some sessions
time.
to really have it, the
Mhm.
gravity of it sink in. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's take a little look.
Okay. Oh,
Look at this scowl. Yeah, it's just so, you feel so uptight. You feel so, yeah, cold and um
rigid.
rigid. Yeah, great word.
Mm. Oh, now I remember. I remember I was very judgmental of myself. I remember being that way when I was seeing myself. I would judge
Oh.
myself a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
what are some of the judgments?
Um, just stemming from, oh, I didn't think I did this right, or and that was part of it too, just feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing this right, or I don't know how to do
Mm.
this. And I
Yeah,
would,
trying to do it right.
yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty still, but the stillness feels like it's this emptiness. Yeah, it's so interesting. You feel so malnourished.
Yeah,
Like you're
I can see
so
that.
right. So this isn't like, you know, body shaming or criticism, but it just feels like I look at you here and I look at you now. Now you look full. You look
Mm.
soft and dewy, and here it feels hard and you feel like a rock.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much more feminine energy coming through you now.
Mm. Oh, yes, I see a lot of my 2 older daughters and myself right here.
Yeah, just kind of standing there. I mean, the instructions were to stand there, but it feels like your your vision is way off in the distance.
And
You
I'm not
see,
allowing anything in, really.
great. Yeah. Yeah, you feel not necessarily isolated from the space, but you kind of feel like you're kind of a part of the background. Like you feel like you're just another one of these
Mhm.
hats and lamps and things on the wall, and there's not a there's not a life force moving through you. You don't
Right.
feel very animated.
Yes.
You feel more of yeah, even the way you move. Yeah, it feels like this like worn, tough, weathered Western pioneer woman. You know, just having to be very masculine and tough to get through life. You know,
Yes.
which there's nothing wrong with. Uh,
Right.
and look at you now.
Adds a lot of stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a suppleness that you have now. There's a softness, this dewiness. There's a glow. Um, yeah, I mean, just look at your face here. You just,
Mm.
yeah, the distance. Can you feel this distant feeling?
Yes, I can.
You know, versus how you are now, like here, present, engaged with it, happy to be here, happy to be
Yes.
alive.
Yeah, you don't feel like you can connect with this person. Or
Yeah.
wow.
Gosh, yeah. Just look at as you listen, the pain you're in.
Oh,
Yeah, you're so far away from yourself in your life. It looks like you could just cry at any moment.
mm. the disengagement of life that just
Yeah. Yeah, even cold isn't quite the right word. It just doesn't feel like you have any temperature. Right? Like it's not like you're ice cold, heartless. It's just like it's just not even there to be cold. Which is so this is really really cool that now seeing how you are now, the comparison is helpful to see more of what was happening then. Now that we have a contrast, now we have a comparison a year
right.
later, how absolutely different you are. It's
Yes.
revealing more. It's like, oh yeah, you weren't dewy, you weren't soft, you weren't letting stuff in, because we have now that comparison of what it feels and looks like when you do those things.
Yes. Mm.
Yeah, this um trying not to mess it up kind of feeling.
Controlling it
Yeah.
and yeah.
You see how small all the movements are? I mean, you're
Yes.
just doing like this, very small and contained. And one of the functional things that we see is as you're shaking here, there feels like an equal in and out. Yeah, a little more on the out, but there you could feel that there is some level of functionality in you, uh, right, coming up and down. And this would make sense given that you have a successful business. Um, so that seems to have just gotten better. Um, yeah, feel all this criticalness
Yes.
of
Yeah,
yourself, kind of
right.
what the scowl feels like. I sometimes get this scowl on the screen just because I have 1,000 gigawatts of lights shining on me. I'm like, this one though feels more like
Yes.
you're self-critical.
Yes. Oh, I really feel the concern for doing it right.
Yeah. Right, I think maybe next here you're gonna go. I think maybe bigger is maybe the next thing. Let's see where you go. Nice. Yeah, bigger. Yeah, you see as you get bigger, the masculine and feminine aren't able to stay synced up. And this feels a bit more with the focus on the down,
Oh, yes.
the throwing down. And yeah, this turns into you chopping.
Mm.
It has this chopping working, and so this matches up with how you talked about in the beginning of this call, how your whole life was just working. You had no time for anything. You were just constantly doing and doing and doing and doing and doing.
Yes. And a lot of manual work with that too. It
Yeah.
yeah,
Now you're chopping
right.
that shit off of something. You're maybe you're murdering somebody, but it's just
Yeah,
another day,
digging
another
rocks.
yeah, digging for rocks. But you go. I mean, you're going. You're doing it. You're staying alive.
Yeah.
Definitely pioneer woman. You know, you're gonna do it. You know, but no connection to joy or your vision, or is this
Oh,
pure survival?
yes. And I saw how that went with my mom. Didn't go well.
Yeah, look at the concern on your face. You and this is your sexual energy, right? This is your
Yeah.
creativity, sexuality, sensuality, your power, and you're just like, what is happening? Look at your face. What is this place down here?
That's how lost I was in all
Yeah,
of that for sure. Oh gosh. Oh, wow. Look at my face.
I know I am. Yeah. What is this? Huh? But you see, you're getting some data. You're tapping into something that it's informing you, right? Because you're having this response. You can see your face. You're like, wait, like data is coming through for you. It's just
Wow.
absolutely foreign. And you see the masculine and the feminine are on different pages.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of concern, pain, sadness. But that sadness is even so deep removed. It's just buried. Yeah, this lost feeling. Slow motion here. Wow, look at that face.
Wow.
Yeah, you just there's kind of like a horror in it. There's this very subtle like being horrified at something. Like this really intense concern.
Mhm, there is.
It's really intense concern. Subtle, but it's the being horrified.
Mhm.
It's, I'm not quite sure what that word would be. Um, Intense concern. I mean, there's this certain intensity, um, and you don't really have a relationship to it. It feels like this is a foreign place.
Yes. That's so amazing that the data is coming through and you can see that.
Yeah, isn't it cool you get to see this now?
Why, yes. Oh,
Yeah, just
I'm even noticing how I'm standing, and it's just so it looks so uncomfortable and
yeah, it's really uptight.
right, okay,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, it's like uptight and ready to be tough kind of feeling. I kind of want to give you a a big hat and a lasso and stick you on some alligators, gators.
It's amazing because 'cause I've had people tell me, "You're standing different," I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
yes."
Oh, wow.
The other day, I had somebody tell me that, and I'm looking now at this and like, wow, if that's how I stood, then man, That is different.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Still very concerned.
Reconnecting to feeling I've never felt in a long time.
Yeah, there's kind of this agony layer. And it makes sense that as we started the work, I mean, it was just months of you crying and feeling and being in despair. Um, and that's the scary thing to a lot of folks is that they think that doing this kind of work is supposed to make them feel good right away.
Oh.
And what's the big thing you've learned? What's the phrase?
It's not about feeling good, it's about feeling. And I still continue to remind myself that, but I love that phrase, and it's so true. And
Yeah.
love how you've, said everything is here to love you, even the things that feel bad, and it's here to communicate to us. And if we're pushing it away, it's going to continue, trying to tell us, and it's there to love us, and it's so beautiful to get into relationship with that and be okay with feeling bad, and ah it's I
Because you can see it from your perspective now. Right now, you can see what all of the benefits you've
yeah,
proven that to yourself. It's been proven. You've experienced it. You've embodied it. You
yes,
know that by doing that, how many times have you experienced this self-love in the intensives you've done,
yeah.
in searching for yourself and finding yourself, in looking at the mirror, in the symbolism work? You've experienced this directly. It is not a belief. It's not a cute phrase for you. This is your lived, known, direct, embodied experience. That is how it works.
And there's that the whole process of going in and feeling and surrender and then coming out onto this beautiful side. I mean, it gives me chills now. It's just it's such a gorgeous process, and I can't believe even though I've experienced that so many times, I find myself feeling bad, and I have to remind myself, it's about feeling, remember? And ah, it's just I just can't believe how this work is on so many levels. Like, I was thinking today how I wanna get this done so I can go read Andrew's book or look at my replays, and then as I was sweeping, I saw the line of dirt because we've had a lot of wind and the red dirt, and I thought, "Oh, that's so pretty." And then I realized this is the moment right here. I don't need to be thinking about trying to get this done as fast as I can. That's what I've always done. It's right here. And then when I go out to water my plants, I enjoy the dandelions, and it's all right there for me. And then time actually slows down, and I'm living in the moment. And then I linked that to Andrew's work and how I've thought of this before when we're going to do we're doing like let's see a workshop, and we're supposed to do this thing, uh the whatever it is, and we actually almost never get to it.
Shh.
But we learn so much along the way, and that not the whole point of the work is to learn? And it was all there, like, the emergence of it happened through the whole process, and that was just so beautiful, and if he had just, like, put away all of that and then just said, "No, we have to go there," would I don't think we would have even gotten what we got out it's just I'm just amazed by letting life inform you, by
Letting life unfold. Yeah.
yes, and you do that in your work, and it's just magnificent. Like like, oh my gosh, there it is. I mean, I knew it, but I hadn't embodied that yet or really put it to connect to the wow.
It's always a struggle for the people that are running that you have to do this, right? We've had a couple participants and they're like, yeah, but what about the thing, come on, let's stop talking about my trauma, let's get to the exercise. The whole point is to get to your trauma to help you heal that.
Yes.
And that same energy, how you do.
One thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's so yeah.
Yeah, and so how people show up in the workshop and they're just unwilling to surrender and trust, they're doing that in their life. And the key point there is all of the value that comes from it. The key point is that everybody gets tremendous value. The key point is that it's
Yes,
not, oh, we're, it's not
and it's not a thing. It's not even about that.
about the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
It
yeah,
just gives us an orientation. It gives us a structure. We have that yang, we have that structure, we have that container. We're staying in that. And within that, we allow the yin. We allow it to flow where it wants to go.
I just
You know,
love that.
yeah, you, the clients, the moment, the energy knows a lot more than my head, my ego. And so we trust that, we follow it. And I work with that. And all of you are working with it. And sometimes we go a little late. But nobody ever says, I didn't get anything from that.
Right.
Yeah, it tends to be the opposite. People are like, oh my goodness, that's weird. Yeah, there's because there's so much, right? There's just so much in every moment. You could spend infinity in every moment, and that's life. You get to you get to choose what you're going to use the time that you have to focus on, and that's your attention. That's what you pay. We have each all the same amount of attention and focus and consciousness, and we can focus it on whatever we want. And the universe and consciousness gets to explore whatever that thing is more. It starts to magnify it. It starts to take a look at it, and everything serves, even what doesn't, right? But how long do you want to look at something that's making you miserable, right? Well, long enough until I guess you learn the lesson. Long enough till you get what you need from it. And this is a great example of what we saw here is that you were doing what you were doing for all the decades you were doing it until you were ready to learn what you needed to learn from it at a very accelerated pace through this work and start living a different life. So, speaking of living a different life, what are the things that have changed along the way?
Mhm.
How was life different?
Being able to feel, and I'm still just like on the cusp of learning that whole realm of life. And it's just so vast and amazing to have feeling a part of life. And I mean, it's a no-brainer, like, we come here to feel, but I was living a robotic life, and I'm so it's, as if I'm being born again, awakening. Um, so I feel that my capacity is so much more for being in life to really experience it, and, um I'm just so grateful that I get the opportunity to do this, whereas, like, my mom, uh, didn't. Um, I am overcoming a lot of stories that I had gotten from my ex-husband and myself and my parents, that I can't keep a clean house or that I don't deserve nice things. Um So I am keeping a clean house. I am getting myself nice things. I am taking care of them. That whole frame set is dissolving, and I'm coming into this place where I appreciate things and I appreciate myself. And it feels so nourishing, and if I can do that for myself, I can do that for those around me, and I just feel so grateful to be here in this world and be a part of it and be able to magnify what the world and I am outside. It's just such a beautiful place to be, and it was no place that I was a year ago. I as I heal myself, I feel that I can start seeing things in other people and able to identify things. I'm like, wow, this work allows me to connect to humanity in many ways because I'm just more aware. And um I feel like, I know, Andrew, you had said this earlier, how in another call, how my aperture is getting bigger and I can just see more. And then as I feel more, I have so much more data and joy and sadness, and everything is just bigger, but I'm experiencing more. And it feels so good to be living and alive and not this rock,
Yeah.
that stressed and strained. And I I'm just so happy,
Yeah.
to
Well,
feel so.
that's the thing too. You're happy. Yeah. I mean, there's been hundreds of things.
Yes, I'm trying to, there's so.
No, it's not a pressure. It's just
Yeah.
there's been so many things, and they're cumulative, right? It's like, all right, well, you spend 3 months in hell. Now you come out. Now you're living an amazing life. There's a lot of little, or not little, but there's a lot of things that had to have occurred for that to happen. And, just the fact that you're smiling and it's a real smile, that you're happy. Um, your voice is different. Um, I want to see if on this video, um, we can hear your voice, or maybe you can reenact it for us. But let's see if this will work here. Oh yeah, all the head nodding.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Can you see this on your end?
Yes.
Yeah, you're just giving all your power away. Look how much pain you're in.
Um, that's just gonna help the pathways get, a lot
That's starting.
breathing. I do. I mean, I avoided. We were out in the middle of nowhere. Wow, so much pain. He was. I'm gonna just close this blind. And your book was just really eye-opening. The fruits of my labor, the cave and the dragons, and I personally. Oh, I just see all this pain.
Yeah,
Oh my
all the
gosh.
power you give away.
Wow.
Yeah, just brimming with pain.
Yeah, that's another thing to heal from is just be being able to trust myself. And I know you constantly had to say, I'm not the authority, you're the authority, It's always looking to someone else to know the answer, to tell me to.
I just want to hear you talk a little bit.
Can see glimpses of it, and I'm gonna do this replay. We were in two cab over campers, so I never had an animal when I was growing up. That was a kind of a shift as well.
I want to hear you do your voice thing.
But I just to put it in that do it. I'm just my life is changing, and it's beautiful.
Kind of.
So
You know what I mean when you just do that?
oh, way up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I did that all the time.
yeah. Except when we want to find it, we can't get it. Anyway, yeah, lots of head nodding. I forgot how much you did that. There it is. Yeah,
Oh,
look at
okay.
that crazy face.
Okay. Right. You're not. Yes.
Very different, huh? Different life.
Wow.
And your archetype, just throwing it all away. Right? You just take it all. Take it all. It just comes and goes right back out. Up
Mm.
in your head. Just, yeah, the suffering.
Oh, up in my head so
Yeah.
much. Look at that. Wow.
And then you see how it just stops? You just hover over yourself and none of it goes in.
Oh, yes. Right.
And it's just these tiny little movements of you receiving these tiny movements, and the giving was just giving it all away. It was so you get to see what you brought in was barely anything compared to what you were giving out. No wonder you were so exhausted.
Yes. And then it doesn't even go anywhere.
I don't know what this is. Was that spending money?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Spending money. Little fishes moving around. Yeah, I mean, it just completely doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah. I was just not able to access feeling.
So I think this was our first session of the 6 month. Yeah, just more of this deadness, this nobody's really there.
Yes. Wow, this hollow.
Yeah,
Wow. Oh my gosh, the shell. Wow.
the Robotnik.
Yes. Oh, wow. I like feeling so much compassion for myself. I can feel that. That's
Yeah.
wow.
So, I mean, this is you a year ago. You just didn't know. Off to work we go. Uh, yeah, it's just a slog. This feels all sloggy. There we go. Look at just the despair.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Fine. Just
Whatever. Who cares? Take it.
don't have
Fine.
to care.
Yeah, fine. Just take it. Martyrdom. Yeah. All right. Look at you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, what are you seeing
Mm.
just in a year? I mean, you've worked your butt off. You know, you've done multiple intensives, pretty much all the workshops. You've seen me pretty much every week. Um, so, you've certainly put in the work in a year. It's about a decade of regular therapy and personal transformational work in just a year.
Oh, this has just been so beautiful to see where I was, see how far I've come. And I have my 3 daughters, and I realize how now that I see this person a year ago, like, that person was raising my girls, and I'm just so grateful to be here now raising my girls. This feels like a totally different person. Goodness. Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like they got their mom back, but they never had her to begin with.
I'm amazed. I mean, I know you had said there's
I'm amazed too. Yeah,
oh,
that's
there's
what I've
so
been trying to tell you. Yeah,
yeah. Oh, and I just the facets and the amazement of this work. I mean, it's just like I was just thinking um, getting out of the depression and how you had me do circles and how that just, as I started doing that 30 minutes a day, just transformations at least once a day, if not twice, just opening up my world and wow, how moving in my body makes moving in my life, different. It's
Yeah.
just phenomenal. And I'm just so, so grateful to you, Andrew, for making this possible and getting your book out there and it finding me. And I'm
Yeah.
wow, like everything that had to come together to
Mm.
this happen. I'm
Yeah.
wow. And
Yeah. We're very blessed. Yeah. The
yes.
technology, the wisdom, life experience, all of the things that didn't work, all of the things that did work, all of the things that we wish worked, but glad we didn't have worked because it led us somewhere else. And yeah, it's divine orchestration. And yeah, it's been an honor to spend only a year with you thus far. And as I say to so many people, it's just the beginning. It's
Yes.
just the beginning. I mean, a whole new life ahead of you.
Wow, yeah, just to think of that threshold, like, here I am a year ago, here I am now, here I am wow,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah. Imagine a couple more years. Just you're
Yes.
gonna look back at yourself here and be like, "Wow, I grew." Whoa.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just oh,
yeah.
wow.
It's an amazing journey, and it's practical. It's applicable. There's evidence. There's proof. It's not like you're just hoping for 10 years that this medicine's gonna finally kick in. You're not just wondering when your 20 years of talk therapy is gonna improve your relationships. Every week, every day, we have in your body on video feedback from me, feedback from the community, feedback from other participants and clients, and feedback from the people in your life that keep saying you stand and walk differently. So it is one of the most practical, applicable, and results driven approaches there is. Now, it also means that you're doing circles for 30 minutes a day, right?
Yes. Right.
It's what does that mean? If you came on and I said, "All right, Elaine, I want you to pay me X amount of money and you're going to just do circles every day and you're going to end up like this a year later," you'd be like, "What the hell does that even mean? What are you talking about? What?"
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense to the ego. But look at the results. Your choices. You chose to do all of this. You're the one that has moved in the new ways. You're the one who has gone into her shadow. You're the one who has let herself feel and face the things that generations of your family haven't.
Mhm.
It's miraculous. It's amazing. And you deserve all of the fruits that will keep being bestowed, keep fruiting. Yeah. Imagine 20 years of life from you a year ago, that lady that we saw on the screen. What would her life look like in 20 years continuing to do all of that?
I don't even know if she would be alive.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
It just,
Now imagine what in 20 years your life would look like if you keep doing what you're doing from today.
Just no words.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so grateful for this opportunity to be here. So grateful to myself for going in and doing this work, and so grateful to you, Andrew. Just you're such a light. Mm,
Yeah. So are you.
thank you.
Yeah. It's about time you start shining.
Yes, like get into this life where everything is so beautiful and everyone
Yeah.
has something.
Juice. Get some juice into life. Get some sensuality. Get some pleasure. Get some flavor. Get
Right.
some, you know, travel the world. Yeah. Make
Oh,
love. Yeah. Get it.
yes.
Hire a chef. Write a book. Yeah, your life map. Yeah, all the stuff. Yeah, the Slack line. We had life maps. In the relation exercises. So many things. It's been a crazy journey. All
Your
the stuff.
somatic workshops.
The symbolism work.
Yes.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
All along with me going through this journey, it's been so fun too.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah.
so fun, and I mean, it's very, uh I mean, of course, I go into the darkness, and
Yeah.
it's but even I can say that I feel is I wouldn't for me, that's come from a place where I didn't feel, to feel my heart, like, doing this, and it actually feels
Yeah, it's
fun,
amazing. What is that?
like,
Wow, I can feel it. Yeah.
feeling something.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be here at this point, so,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, it's just been,
Yeah.
ah,
And
wow.
you can see, other people, they don't see it that way, right? They choose to make every piece of feedback suffering. They choose to take every experience, every pain, something that means something worse about themselves. And so the group work, um, touch upon that for a moment, um, because you started doing this group work and you can see yourself in other people. You can see what they're doing and giving you a reference point. Share a little bit about the process of doing this, in a group setting.
That is another thing. I'm so grateful that you made these groups and formed them, and I I had no idea what kind of experience that would be, but it's just been amazing. It's a whole nother amazement on top of everything else. Oh my god, you get it just it allows you to, see yourself in someone else, and then see what that looks like, and then it it's the connectedness of it, just it allows for so many connections in my own brain to then, I can't, I'm not verbalizing this well, but it's just, I'm so amazed at how it informs me of myself, even though we're not even talking about me, or, sometimes and it's just, I guess because we're all connected, that you just then learn all this stuff, and I'm I love the group work, and it's, and then having the replays, another amazement. If you forget stuff, or if you go back and you wanna see how this played out to learn it's right there, and
Yeah.
you take it all in, and then you can see yourself and how you're showing up, and oh gosh, I I just feel so rich and so
Yeah.
taken care of that you've created all these spaces, and, like, I just get to land here, and here I am, and this is like, "Oh my gosh,
Wow.
I feel so good." So
Yeah. It's a beautiful way to say it. Yeah.
mm,
Any final lessons? Anything that you'd like to share that um, any wisdom, any big breakthroughs, any final lessons you would like to share that you've learned before we wrap up?
mm, I'm just I'm really just I don't have words for from where I came from to now. It's such a huge gap, and I just I feel that there's so much hope for everyone of how this work can work and how Andrew has set up, the Awaken calls and the Awaken forum, and how if you want to, you can stay so connected in this work. Every day you can write on there. Every week you can be with your fellow people and gain the knowledge for yourself and the world and the healing that I've experienced in just a year. It's just, I have so much hope for myself, my family. Oh, I am kind of deranged from part of my family, from my girls. And so if I don't actually get them back as part of my family, at least I've given them a way, shown them a way to a different life, which I don't have any I'm pretty sure I will get them back, but um I just it works. Thank you, Andrew. I just can't believe it. Wow.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for um, showing up. Thank you for all your contributions to my life and to the community and to everybody else in the community. Um, you're such an inspiration and a leader for us all. Your courage and your dedication um, are a lighthouse to many. And it's my hope that this interview will be another form of that and an inspiration for people to explore this work for themselves and to um, show up in new ways in their life for themselves, their family, and their communities. So, thank you as well for your time here today. And I was further amazed by watching your first sessions to seeing you today. That was a trip.
Thank you, Andrew, and the amount of dedication and um heart pouring like soul that you have put into all of this. It really shows, and
Thank you.
I s- I think I you're creating that space for so much healing, and thank you so much for all that you do.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. It's an honor. I look forward to many more years to come.
Me too.
It's just the
Mm,
beginning.
yes. Right.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.